Today I'm going to review this book about little stars, a heady feather adventure from Acqueline Wilson, illustrated by Nick Sharon. I'm asking you, maybe some of you are grown up watching this video. When is the first time you fall in love with someone else? I'm speaking the truth. Some of you children out there may say that I'm never in love, so I'm never going to understand this situation. Well, I'm telling you to think again. Even if we don't love someone like the kind of love in romantic films, love in couples, no, not like that. It could be love like love for your sister, love for your father, love for your mother. Some of those love. First, it's begin in a circus. But however, they doesn't like the circus because the owner of the circus is very, very mean. He punished them even if their fault is very, very minor. That's why they hopped on a Acqueline and drive away. It's a bicycle with a large wheel in the front and a small wheel at the back. They go to a house of some stranger named Mrs. Gibson. She is a dressmaker to the stars. Mrs. Gibson let them come to her house to lunch, but for a payment for a back arrow, that's what I call it. Hetty, the girl with red hair, said that she will steal clothes for Mrs. Gibson. She sew beautifully. She even steal for a dolly dummy named Little Pep. She decided to get a job to pay for things, and she found it at a music hall. She really, really liked to be an actor, or maybe she can act something else. She really, really, really wants to act. And finally, she can do it. She enters it, but for the first time, Miss Ruby, the manager of the music hall, said no. She says that even though they're good, it's not good as the other. So they decided to show their talents. They jump on the Acqueline, and I literally mean jump. They jump on it, first Hetty, and then Diamond jump on her, hands on shoulder, like this is the shoulder, and then she literally jump like this, and she's upside down. And then they go around, and when they saw a show of the night of the music hall, they totally know what they should do next. Hetty decided to have a dummy show. Hetty is the little girl, while Diamond, the littler one, is a dummy. She pretends to be a dummy. So let me show you about their first performance in the music hall. They were late because they chat with one of the men in there. It's Samson, and then they suddenly see their friend Bertie. Bertie was her Hetty's sweetheart. Of course, Hetty is about 17, I think. And those two are like in love with each other. I think that's the best way to say it. So those two are in love with each other, and however, Hetty saw Birdie with a girl named Ivy Green. She doesn't want Birdie to be upset. However, she is extremely jealous of Ivy, so that's why she lashed out of Birdie. But Birdie come to her house and see that she is thinking the wrong way. He's just in her performance, so they're just talking as friends. Hetty is still his loved one, still his sweetheart. And here's the show. Okay, I'm going to need the help of my sister. So my sister is going to be Diamond and try to speak like a doll, even if doll don't speak. So they were late about 3 counts, so she decided not to jump into an act, but she decided to give an all of amazement. She's like this. Oh, hello. I'm sorry I didn't greet you. I'm in the upstairs, in the littlest room. I am do what little girl is supposed to do. And the audience laughed. This is my little dolly. Doll. Her name is Diamond. Doesn't she look like a real girl? I wish she was, which win her another laugh, and they continue on. However, she knew she shouldn't milk the audience too long, which means she shouldn't talk about one joke for too long, because she knows Mrs. Ruby is very serious about time. So then she decided, now we're going to do the egg rolling trick. Are you ready, Diamond? I don't do it more slowly. Whatever. Okay. So they jump on the egg frottling and they started to do just what I told you to. Okay, thank you for your help. And that was the first show, which won the audience a lot of audience to buy tickets, which give Hetty and Diamond more money, which Ruby have more money, and it's a win-win. Maybe. But after that, one day, there was this company called Perry Pact. They come and they decided these two are perfect. And you may be wondering, how did they know these two? Well, Hetty accidentally, on purpose, go into her room, the owner's room, named Mrs. Marina Royal. She decided to steal Julia's dress for her, and she made it from a ragged old curtain into a beautiful, glamorous gown. So they decided these two helped them made a play called Alice in Wonderland. At first they decided Diamond to be Alice. However, Diamond isn't very good at remembering, so she decided to be Cat Bushy the cat. Hetty then said if she wears a wig, then that will make her look like Alice in Wonderland. And they say, okay, and then they let her do whatever she wants. So it was a huge success, and these two managed to do their part as well. Mrs. Ruby isn't very happy, but she still let it go because it made her win a lot of tickets. Then they decided to celebrate. Betty, earlier on the chapter, or earlier in the book, she was hanging out with Hetty. She was hanging out with Bertie a lot. But now she decided maybe she could go in at the bar with some of the grown-up too. So she decided to ask Bertie to take care of Diamond. He says yes, but not very sure at first. Hetty somehow managed to persuade him to take care of Diamond, which he said exciting, and Diamond out of nowhere jumped on his back. So Hetty go to the bar. However, she drank too much wine, and Samson smooched her. I'm just using the smooch, but if anyone has ever been in that situation, I say it's pretty harsh, even though some of you may not know what it means. It's a bit harsh, and then Miss Ruby come in and saw that, and she thought it was Hetty's fault. Hetty got really mad and she decided to quit, which she doesn't have to quit because Miss Ruby already fired her. Hetty's come back with a heavy heart. Then when she went to sleep, she still had a heavy heart, and then she just dozed off. And I'm maybe knowing that you guys are wondering, why don't they join Mrs. Marina Royal's company? Well, this is because Mrs. Ruby come to her in the bar before Hetty could, and I think she tell her what she thought Hetty did. And Hetty decided that Mrs. Royal wouldn't come and let us in their company after all. So they come with their old dear friend. In the previous book, some of you may have, but I don't have. In the previous book, Hetty Feather in the first, then Sapphire Birdersea, then Emerald Star, and next is She Meet Diamond, and then this book. In the Diamond book, it's where she find Madame Acqueline, a dear friend of them. They decided to come there. However, when they're packing in the next morning, Mrs. Gibson decided to get them a goodbye party. They made special breakfast and then they say goodbye. Then when they're decided to go out and ready to face the adventure, out of nowhere, but still at the door, Mrs. Royal come into the room, even though I wouldn't say she's walking in a very royal way. So she come in, and at first Hetty was surprised. What in the world is Mrs. Royal doing here? She must have been really ashamed of me and should really ashamed of herself letting me into her play. The end. However, that's not the end of like what she thinks. Mrs. Royal explained that there's no way she would believe Mrs. Ruby because first of all, Mrs. Ruby always stand in Hetty's way. She's always in with Samson. And Mrs. Royal can clearly see that what Samson is doing is Samson's fault. So that's why she decided to come and said Diamond and Hetty can come and live with her. Maybe not live with her, but work with her. So they come back to London, and there they come to a house of Harry. Harry's house. He did try smoking a little bit. Hetty's once tried smoking, but she says no thanks because it made her cough. Harry lived with a woman called Mrs. Grump. Mrs. Grump is actually not a miss at all. She's a young lady, older than Betty a little bit. Hetty a little bit. But Diamond and Hetty still have a heavy heart because they're missing something. They're missing Bertie. Bertie isn't going to come with her. Bertie is just going to stay back at the music hall. But they know that facts are facts and they must face the fact by themselves. So they sleep. The next day, they woke up and Hetty suddenly have an idea. Let's call her Emerald from now on. So Emerald with Diamond go to the countryside where Madame Acqueline was. At first she was thrilled. Hetty was thrilled. Then she recognized, where is Mr. Marty? Then Acqueline, Madame Acqueline, said to them that he already died. It's not because of ill, but because something private. So there was a monkey named Marvis, not Elvis, in case you're wondering. They decided to get Diamond to walk Malvis. I don't know how this name pronounced. Malson. Let's continue. Then Madame Acqueline explained why Marvin really died. Marvin really loved his monkey. A lot of them. He named each of everyone. He feed them and more. One day he forgot to close the cage where all the monkeys in. A fox came in and eat them all except Marvis. Marvin became really sad because you know how it's like when you love something and then there it goes, all gone. You feel really sad, and Marvin said it's his fault. He doesn't eat, he doesn't talk, he doesn't live, and at the end of the week, he passes away. Mrs. Acqueline was sobbing then, but then Hetty had an idea. Why don't you live with us then? Then you won't be lonely and feel homesick. Love sick. I don't know what you call them when you miss someone. Let's just say love sick. And that is when the company decided to have another play. They made a play called I'm not sure exactly, but I'm sure it's named Gappy. Pretty sure it's Gappy. So Betty is David and Diamond is Emily. But most in this book she called Emily. And everything was going well and everybody remember what they're supposed to say. The kids have a short play and then the adults come in as adults, and then the story continues. The show was a big success. But however, at first, Hetty was really, really nervous. She's shaking like there's an earthquake. You may say, well, she in a circus, she already in a music hall, she wants to sing at the bar, then why is she afraid of singing with this company? Well, I'm telling you, sorry, it isn't like a stage like in the music hall. It isn't like in the circus. It is an actual theater. It is in the theater, so Hetty is shaking. You kind of understand. Hetty's shaking really, really hard. But then she noticed something. Her mom, in her heart, actually, not in real life because her mom died, said in her heart that don't worry, you'll be fine. So she decided like that. Okay, if I go out there, if I success, I win. If I don't success, I lose. There's nothing to lose. There isn't anything to lose at all. So she decided to take the risk and come on to the stage. And everybody, of course, before joining this company in the music hall, she was famous. And when she entered the company, everybody come to see her show. Mrs. Grump, Harry, maybe not Harry, he's in the show too. Madam Acqueline, Mrs. Gibson on television. Marina Royal in the play. Diamond inside the play also. And the show at the end, I think it's quite a good thing because people are laughing, everything's going all right, and it was okay. When the show was done, they decided to go home where Mrs. Grump and Harry was. But there's a group, a big group, in case you're wondering, wanted to shake actor and actress hand, and they want their signature. Some of them also ask Hetty's and Diamond's signature. Diamond have trouble writing her name down, but Hetty write her name down beautifully. She decided to chat with the people. She signed her signature in. However, there's a lot of people. More and more people come, and she can sense that Madam Acqueline is tired while Mrs. Grump is jumping in excitement. So she decided to sign quickly. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, a voice called, "I don't want Emily's star signature. Heather will be mine." I don't really understand that last part, but let's continue. Hetty paused for a little bit, then looked up. It was pretty. I think you already guessed it from the start. Then they hug each other and they start asking questions like, "How did you find me? Why didn't you tell me?" And I find the most interesting part in that speech is that this sentence. Poor little Harry. Harry is a big grown-up, in case you're still hesitating. Harry got a bit drunk up into the morning. I come and try to see you back home because I was waiting outside, but I didn't see you. And Harry spit out, I I almost go bizarre when I heard what happened. I gotta teach that Samson a lesson. Diamond asked, "You beat him up? Wow, you're a hero." But Birdie smiled nervously on purpose. Back, he said. "Well, he did fight me back, but it was worth the try." So Hetty became worried, and she says, "You been beat up? He beat you up too?" And Birdie was like really proud, and he was like, "Yes." And under the moonlight, he showed him her tooth. At first, I didn't understand, but then I realized. After Hetty said, "You lost your front tooth," which gave me a surprise. And the rest continue. However, there is also a part said that Birdie is also fired from the musical, but now he is also in another play. It's not Gappy, but Chappy Gappy. It's a rhyme, but he can also do it. And he can also sing and dance too. So that's suddenly where the parts stop. But there's also something that in the beginning, before they leave London, even before that, Birdie gave Hetty a ring. It's not a marriage ring, it's an I love you ring. So that's the end of this book. Thank you for listening to my speech. I'm sure it will be helpful to you.
When you read this book, do you have a lesson for you?
After reading this book, I kind of don't see any lesson or memorial for it, actually. I think it's just like, it's not one lesson, but lots of lesson in different situations. Like in the situation when she's really nervous in her heart, there's suddenly a voice. But actually, it isn't the voice from her mother from heaven. No, it's the voice of her speaking to herself. And she believes that it's her mother, not her. And other situation too.
Do you like that book?
Yes, I pretty much sure I like this book, even though in the other book I didn't have, so reading this may be a bit puzzling at the start.